Hey folks, I'm out here, I'm looking at the Weiss Equinox. She has a check engine light. You started up cold, it almost sounds like it's missing. Just a little bit. It's kind of what it's called. And this time it didn't do it, but when I shut it off before, it was like dieseling just a little bit. So we have a check engine light. I think what we have is a bad purge valve. That's pretty common on these. These are the same thing they have on the Cruzes and stuff. 1.4 liters. That purge valve goes bad and it causes problems like this. So let's go ahead and read the codes off of it. I got the scan tool plugged in here. Let's turn the key on. We'll go ahead and read these codes. And we'll automatically search. Yes, we want to read the VIN automatically. And it is a 2016 Korean Buick Encore. And we're going to do system selection, engine control module. And it's an automatic. We'll go ahead and close this door so it'll stop dinging at us. And stop system KL9, make a selection. I don't know. We're going to say it's not equipped. I don't know what that is. And we're going to read the fault codes. And DTC display. And we have a P0171 fuel trim system lean. And we have a P0496 evaporative emission system flow during non-purge. So that's telling us that the evap system is allowing flow into the engine when it's not commanded to have a purge cycle. Let me see if you can see that. And the other one is telling us that we have a system too lean, and that's because the purge valve's open and it's letting extra air in, which is telling it has to add more fuel, which is why it has the misfire and why it had a little diesel effect there. When I shut it down earlier, it's got a bunch of extra fuel in it. So this is a really simple fix on these guys. You can buy the genuine GM part. It's probably 50 to 70 bucks, or you can buy the cheap ones on Amazon like I do. It was $18. I just went ahead and bought one because I figured that was what was wrong with it. So let's go out here to the engine. I'll show you how to put it on. All right, so we've got the engine opened up. And it's a 1.4 liter EcoTech GM. I also did a video on these about replacing the oil feed lines for the turbo. Every 30 or 40,000 miles, your turbo will last a lot longer that way. People are like, oh, pull the heat shield off, or reroute the line, do all this. I just spend 15 to 20 bucks every 30, 40,000 miles and put things back together the way they were built and designed at the factory. That's how I roll. Taking that heat shield off might allow too much heat out to the plastic and cause it to become brittle over time. So you don't want to do that. But your purge valve is this little guy right back here. Let me see if I can get a light. Alright, so your purge valve is this little guy right back here. He's all hooked on here. He comes over to here. He has that. So from this part to this part is going to be the purge valve assembly, I believe. This whole thing plus this. It's pretty simple to get off of here. You just got to unplug this electrical connector, disconnect that hose, and disconnect this and pop that thing off. So we'll go ahead and get a screwdriver and a pair of pliers, I guess, here, and we will get started on this. Here is our new one. It comes with this part right there, and it comes with this part back here. You just squeeze these together and that pops off. And you gotta either pull this up or push it down. I don't remember which. I think you pull that up and then you unhook that. So let's get a screwdriver and try to see what we can do. All right, so we got our cheapo Harbor Freight screwdriver, and we just have to pry this up or push it down, one or the other. It pushes down. I'll get my light. Where'd my light go? Okay. We'll push this down like so, and we'll pull that off. Well, we'll go ahead. Yeah. Come on. Man. It should come off of there. Gotta work with it here to keep it from breaking, hopefully. Push that down there. Okay. So what you got to do on this is you got to pry this little individual tab up and push down on the inside of it, and it lets that go. So we'll get that out of our way, and then we have the electrical connector back here. However that comes off. And what we can do is just go ahead and remove this, and then we'll take a look at that connector. So we'll go ahead and take this off right over here. I'll move the camera over a little so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. But you just gotta squeeze these. If you can squeeze them hard enough. If not, I'll have to get a pair of pliers here. Hang on. We got our cheap Harbor Freight pliers. And we just want to squeeze that in and then pull up on this thing. That should come off here. All right, let me get the screwdriver out and pry it a little bit. You want to be kind of careful because this intake manifold is plastic. You break that intake manifold, you're gonna have a very expensive replacement. So it should be a matter of squeezing those and pulling up. There we go. So that unplugs off of that intake manifold. And now all we gotta do is get this connector loose. That's back here. And that should just be a matter of slightly prying on this so it comes off. There we go. All right, and now we see our electrical connector. We just gotta pry that forward a little bit. There we go. Push down and unplug this sucker. There. All right, there we go. There's our valve. When it's off, we should be able to blow through this. Yep, we're blowing through it both directions. Not supposed to be able to, and we take this one and yep, much better. And we'll take and we'll put this on here first. Actually, let's go ahead and hook up our electrical connector first while we got this out here. So that just slides on, and we slide that right clip forward. Put this down in here. We want to hook this up. There, that goes on there. Now we're just gonna take and press this down. And it should click in. Clicks in. Now we just gotta put this little hose back on. Just push it in, push down on that. And there we go, we're set. We are replaced. So that's a really simple fix at $18 for this part on Amazon. For the cost of the factory ones, I'd say just get the Amazon one, and if it don't last a real long time and you have to replace it again, you can replace it 5 or 6 times by the time you pay for a factory one. So that's fine. But there's that. So let's go in here and clear the codes and start her up and see if she works. All right, we got the key back in. We'll close the door so the dinger stops. We'll go back out here. We'll do a DTC display again to see if it's still connected since I had the key out. It is. So what we're going to do is just go back here and clear the codes. And clear the fault codes. And say yes. Alright, the fault codes are cleared. We'll shut that off. Let's start her up. Check engine lights out. It doesn't have that misfiery sound anymore. And she shuts right down right now. She doesn't idle for a little while after you shut her off anymore. So she's fixed. Alright. So that's how you fix that simple problem. The other problem you'll have when those guys go bad, really bad for a long time, is when you get gas, it'll lose all of its pressure coming from the tank for the evap emissions. And sometimes it won't start for a few minutes after you put gas in it. After you unseal that, you have to let it kind of cool down and then it'll start again. So that's another symptom. But usually they have to get worse than this one was before that happens. Alright folks, that's a fix. You guys have been wanting some car diagnostic videos. I guess that's a little easy one. I'm not really fixing any cars right now since my stroke. But I might get back to fixing cars again. But I'm still fixing my own stuff when I can. You know, and that's a pretty simple fix. So that's good to go. We're set. I'll talk to y'all later. It's Tommy Frugal Prepper.